I would have done something to you, man.
I'd like to see you try.
You think you're so strong, Tootie.
This weekend.
What?
At the Sheraton.
Oh, God.
You want to fight me?
In Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Are you challenging an angel to a fight?
I challenge the angel. I challenge the devil.
I got a Chris Jones yard sign last night, by the way.
Hell yeah.
And he gives out these like big booklets at his events.
That's awesome.
Whoops. Okay, we'll talk about it later because I want to plug his campaign in the plug section, so we should save that for the end. I got his phone number though.
Nice.
Should I read it? Should I read it into the microphone?
I don't know. I don't know if he would appreciate that.
He's accountable to the people, so we should all have his phone number.
He is out there. Yeah.
He's in Grinnell today.
Nice. I'm sure he'll get a good turnout for that, but it seems like he's been getting a good turnout like everywhere.
Yeah. But we should save that for the end instead of continuing to talk about him.
Okay.
Hey, Rock Hard Caucus. This is our 233rd episode. Right now it's January 24th. We're hearing some bad shit out of Minneapolis this morning, but we don't know really any details, so I would like to not dwell on that right now. But the important thing is solidarity with the people of Minneapolis and their big-ass strike yesterday, and a hearty fuck you and die to ICE, as usual.
Absolutely. Fuck off. Terrorist scum.
Kind of in related news, the president's coming to Iowa. Yet again, our big, dumb pedophile president is going to give a big, dumb speech here. He's going to come to Clive, so not too far from you, if you wanted to spend a day with Donald Trump.
I saw it's free and open to the public, but you have to register. Like, I wonder that, like, I don't want my name associated with with the man in any way.
No, it
also,
was never
I don't want to see him.
Idea.
It's horrible. Sounds horrible. Sounds fucking.
Yeah. I mean, it was
like
bad
not
enough
something
a few
I want to be
years
a part
ago
of.
when I went to that thing at the fairgrounds, that was rough. But it was like he was sort of at his weakest, and now he's like, kind of at his most deranged and powerful, and it feels like. It feels like it could be genuinely dangerous to like hang out at a Trump event in an enclosed space in this sort of climate feels more risky.
Even
and giving
Clive,
them your real
Iowa.
name, of course, would be a bad idea, probably.
Yeah.
But Zach Nunn, your congressman, he went on Newsmax recently. I, of course, have notifications on for all Zach Nunn YouTube uploads. So I want to stay abreast of all the Zach Nunn activities.
I got a form letter from him about ICE because I sent him a thing.
I bet that was really worth reading.
It's surprising he's kind of trying to like you, I believe in accountability and transparency from all government agencies. I am committed to ensuring that ICE, like all government entities, operates in full accordance with the Constitution and upholds our American values. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
And then he talks about like, I want to balance our security interests with humanitarian values. And he like talks about how like he does want to bring more Afghanistan migrants because people who worked with the military when the military was in Afghanistan.
Right.
Which is like he's like trying to like soften it a little bit, but like I don't know who the fuck is going to be satisfied by this stupid form letter.
Yeah, he, of all of the Iowa members of Congress, seems to be the most worried about re-election because he's sort of trying to do like bipartisan type messaging. But he's a big goober is what I gathered from.
He's a big man who looks like a baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So yeah, he uploaded this clip of him on Newsmax to his YouTube page the other day. The title of the video is President Trump is Coming to Iowa, but that is not the subject of the video. I think that this aired before the announcement that Trump was coming to give a speech, but Zach is just trying to ride the wave, I guess. There's a lot of excitement in the air. You know, everybody on the street is like, Did you hear our pedophile president is coming to visit us? Everyone's sort of dancing in the streets. Hooray, hooray. The demented pedophile is coming. Our mad king is visiting to tell us all of his plans and celebrate his triumphs. Anyway, Zach,
how the fuck did this happen? Why? Like, why?
Why now? Why is it coming here now? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. If I was a Republican politician, I don't think I would want him here. Like, fucking, yeah, like, I don't know what there is to gain.
Sure, yeah, he's not, I don't know, he's not super popular, right? It seems like the base is not even as excited. Maybe that's what it is. They're trying to, like, rekindle the flame, you know, people... Hey, remember you loved this guy, right?
Yeah, I also wonder if like Trump's like team is just like, hey, you know, like people in Iowa still like us, right? Like we can go, this is some place we can go and like get some kind of positive reception.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be somebody on the roof, you know.
Probably not.
All right, Zach Nunn on Newsmax. Let's see what he had to say. This is 4 minutes. I doubt we'll watch the whole thing.
Joining us to take a closer look at the president's first year in office and what lies ahead. Let's welcome in Iowa Congressman Zach Nunn. Good morning to you, Congressman. Look, you could just say it was...
Okay, so our listeners are only hearing this, but what did you notice right away when he came on the screen?
He did the little one finger salute.
He is such a dork. He loves that. Like, hey, don't forget. I'm a plane man. I'm an Air Force boy. I like to fly my airplanes. Salute to you.
Busy. It was a busy first year on every front. What was your biggest takeaway from the president's first year of term 2?
Well, look, this is promises made, promises delivered, Mark and Shala. We have seen 3 major accomplishments.
I'm going to pause him right there. First off, I love the really long lag time when you get like satellite communications on TV news. Really good stuff. That's just a production quality that can't be beat by any of these rinky-dink podcasts like us. But 3 major accomplishments of Donald Trump's first year back in office. Evan, give me one. What do you think one of the big 3 is?
Oh, man, that's tough. Big, beautiful bill.
Okay.
We remember that? Remember the big, beautiful bill, folks?
Yeah. What was in that? Probably like some tax breaks or something.
Yeah, I think like, I don't know, all the national parks have to have like tributes to Donald Trump, like something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to say the second one is probably renaming the Kennedy Center. And third one is the the body count of his secret police. That's one of his major accomplishments, is all of the murders that his federal agents are getting away with. Like most presidents, I mean, that's the biggest thing to celebrate, is the mountains of dead bodies that you create with your policies and decisions.
In just the first year alone, energy independence, being able to do what we do here in the United States, whether it's traditional fuels or my home state of Iowa, biofuels, taking off. To
Loser.
Border security at an unparalleled level. We went from tens of millions of illegals entering the country to now the strongest, safest border in U.S. history.
Okay, so first was energy independence, second was border security. I just want the listeners to know that what Zach says for the next couple minutes is accompanied by a video of Donald Trump slowly just sort of shuffling off of Air Force One. I believe this aired the day that he flew into Davos, the economic forum.
And 3, the thing that really impacts every American is the largest tax cut in American history, putting more money back into Americans' pockets, growing our economy, a $2,000 tax credit per child, including my $5,000 tax credit per adopted child. We are moving America forward, and we're hitting on what the president wants to do in 2026, help drive down costs for every American so they can buy that first home, so they have the opportunity.
All right. I also love the big echoing background noise because he's standing in a big bathroom or something at the Capitol. I also wanted to note the Chiron, Chiron, like the scrolling text at the bottom of the news, always fun to pay attention to that. State Department's PIGOT. I don't know who that is. Who's PIGOT?
No idea. That's a good name. Another good name.
Yeah. But Pigot of the State Department says Greenland is about security, not ego. That's just one thing that Newsmax, one message they want to get across to their viewers is that this sort of like expansion, conquering territory thing that the president seems to be interested in, it's not about his ego, it's about security.
Oh, man. Greenland. I don't even know what to think of that other than it's like insane. But
yeah, we should I don't think the United States needs to be any bigger. We should probably think about downsizing a little bit, break it up. What about that? Yeah. What if we split this country up a little bit?
Might be a good idea.
Yeah. Let's call it the American Union. And we split into a few different countries that have, very strong trade relations and treaties and travel, make travel between these territories easy, but like we are each our own independent thing.
Yeah, like West Germany and East Germany. You have like the USSA.
Yeah, we should put up some walls between the states as well. Yeah, something that, they celebrate, this isn't in this video, I don't think, but, the big wall that the president has wanted to build along the Mexican border since his first campaign. What if we had that internally? Just separate, all of these, like, border lines should be accompanied by huge physical blockades.
Yeah, and it would just be like zigzagging around the entire country. Like it would have no like geographical significance.
Random. Yeah.
Well, not random, but like it's kind of, America is kind of a big patchwork of a bunch of different areas and stuff. So you kind of have to, it wouldn't just be like a straight line,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's for security's sake. If you have a lot of obstructions, then like the invading barbarians, they won't be able to come at you as quick. They'll have to figure out a way to climb over the wall or get around it or whatever. So it's just going to make us safer. It might take you a little bit longer to drive to your grandma's house, but it's going to make you and your grandma a lot safer to have big walls everywhere, every couple miles. Let's see what Zach has to say later on. Right. Okay. There's something in this. Okay, I'm looking at the Chiron again. It's a boy. Usha Vance, pregnant with fourth child. They know it's a boy already?
I guess so. I mean, typically you don't announce pregnancy, like, immediately.
Sure, yeah. How excited are you about that? A new Vance?
I mean, as long as JD and Usha stay together, then I'm happy.
You're very invested in the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Zach Nunn sort of starts bragging about one of his own legislative accomplishments here.
Support small businesses, as you just mentioned, as well as protect victims of online scams. Can you tell us more?
Victims of online scams. This is one of the groups of people that Congressman Zach Nunn is seeking to protect. You ever fell victim to a scam, Evan, online?
I don't think so. But this is like definitely, I mean, Zach Nunn, this is like catering to Zach Nunn's base of like old people.
Right. Who are the people who fall victim to online scams, and who are the people most likely to fill in the bubble for a Republican? It's
people
a circle.
Who watch Newsmax.
And yes, people who watch Newsmax. You think these three circles and like a Venn diagram thing, but no, it's just, this is all one group of people. You've hit all three check marks. By the way, from the Chiron, Mexico sends 37 more cartel members to U.S.
Interesting.
Yeah, there are people out there who probably have this on their TV all day long.
There 100% are.
And just watching a little bit of it at a time, for me, I can feel myself getting more erratic and I have less of a grip on reality just from consuming a little taste of Newsmax. Maximum news.
That's right. Well, I think one of the big wins here is that we went after the financial fraud. I hear this from every Iowan. I see it with every American. The bleed out of nearly $100 billion of U.S. hard-earned money going to fraudsters the world over.
How much did he say?
100 billion?
Let's hear that again.
This from every Iowan.
He hears this from every Iowan, by the way. Every Iowan is getting caught up in the scam because we are the nation's dumbest state. We click every link sent to us.
Mm-hmm.
I see it with every American. The bleed out of nearly $100 billion of U.S. hard-earned money going to fraudsters the world over, both domestically and internationally. We help lead the GUARD Act, which is the best way for both our federal law enforcement at DOJ, along with our intelligence agencies, to support our state and local law enforcement. Tragically, we've heard too many stories of Iowans who have been brought into these frauds either through robocalls, through spear phishing, where people think that they're really helping a family.
Yeah.
In Dallas County.
What's spear phishing? I know what phishing is.
I don't know the difference, but I feel like, again, like the audience who is watching this is not going to understand, definitely not going to understand, probably even phishing. And then they're probably going to think something like racist when they hear the term spear phishing.
Spear. Yeah, if a spear, yeah. What's the image conjured in their mind when they hear the word spear, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he did mention, you know, fraudsters internationally.
Yes, definitely. That's the important part. There are no fraudsters in America. They're all international.
He did say domestically as well.
That's true. That's true.
But, you know, which ones are the ones spear phishing
The ones you
us?
really got to watch out for, the international ones.
Yeah, you can't trust those foreigners, you know, they're out to get us.
In Iowa, I had a sheriff share with me the story of how senior Iowans are being called and said, hey, they have to pay a bail bondsman to help their kid out of a prison. These are obviously fake situations, but it's taking...
Well, why are they obviously fake? If they're obviously fake, then the people shouldn't be falling for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there's like... I'm sure there's scammers who are, you know, taking advantage of the what's happening with ICE.
Oh,
in
absolutely,
a very disturbing, awful way. Like, I mean, another reason to shut it down.
Yeah, you know, I wonder, Zach, if there's something maybe upstream of that we could seek to reform. I'll be soft and say reform. That would prevent like people being able to scam others when it comes to like, oh, you got to pay bail. Hey, I'm your nephew and I need bail money. What if we abolished bail? Then people couldn't be scammed for bail money. You know, is that in your GUARD Act? Probably not.
No, probably not.
It sounded like, from like the very brief description of the GUARD Act that he said, it sounds like what it amounts to is giving more money to cops. That's like all it sounds like. Because then they'll be able to crack down on these online scams if they just have more money to cops. That's the only solution when it comes to preventing crime. As we know, it works. There's a direct correlation between giving money to cops and less crime happening to people. It's been proven time and time again.
Money and putting it into forms of crypto, stealing people's life savings, and as a result, it's more expensive for everyone, and they're losing their ability to be able to be successfully independent, whether you're a senior, a veteran, or others. We've taken big steps to stop this. It's been a huge success thus far.
Yeah,
Congress.
It's been a huge success. I'm sure you've heard that nobody's getting scammed anymore. By the way, GOP lawmakers warm up to Trump's push for Greenland because it's about security and not ego, remember. They've been convinced.
Yeah, I don't think China or Russia have real big plans with Greenland. I don't think that's anyone's focus.
All right, let's give Zach the final word here. See how he ends this.
Rural health care, something that we led on. I want that to be the showcase of what the president's doing successfully. So we applaud the president's presence on the world stage. We also recognize that success is grown here at home, helping families, small businesses. Family farms is where Americans want to be, and this is what the president is working to deliver as we head into 2026.
Let's hear that again.
Success is grown here at home, helping families, small businesses. Family farms is where Americans want to be, and this is what the president is working to deliver.
Family farms is where Americans want to be.
I don't think that's true.
I don't want to be on a fucking farm.
Yeah, definitely not.
With my family?
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like a bad situation, very coercive. They're forcing you to, like, shovel hog shit.
2026.
All right, Congressman Zach Nunn, always great having you with us. Thank you for taking the time this morning.
Guys, thanks. Be safe. Stay warm.
He does a little salute, and then he gets cut off mid-sentence as he's saying goodbye. Oh boy!
I know I said one finger salute earlier, and that has a different term, a different meaning. He did not flip off the camera in the beginning, though it did look like he might have been only using one finger in the beginning.
Yeah, he did his whole hand. He did
the whole hand at the end.
Yeah, let's check out the beginning again just to make sure.
It was
I think it's two.
Very cash.
I think
it might have been
fingers.
two. Yeah.
That's two.
We'll say
that's
two.
Two.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to save that picture there. We'll use that as the episode art. All right. Yeah, I thought it would be good for us to catch up with Zach Nunn. He's we're very proud of him. Very proud that he's representing us in Washington, D.C. As you can hear, he's very concerned with family farms. He knows that we all want to be on family farms. We're tired of we're tired of urban living. We're tired of having office jobs. Can we please just go back to basics and all work on the family farm? That's the American dream, right? Family farms. That's where we all want to be. So yeah, if you want to check out, you can go to the White House website, I think, is where they're setting up the registration to see Donald Trump speak at the Horizon Events Center in Clive, Iowa, this Tuesday, January 27th. I believe the speech is supposed to be around 3 p.m. So if you would like to give your name and contact information to the government, the president, and see what they do to you afterwards, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend going there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just imagine they're going to cross-reference some lists that we're on. And probably many of our listeners.
Sure. A lot of us have maybe had our faces scanned by an ICE agent's phone, and we're now on a list of enemies where it's completely okay to torture us, steal us, lock us up without any warrants. Yeah.
There was that video of a lady in Minnesota filming an ICE agent, and he walks up to her and is like you're a domestic terrorist now, and then he just walks away.
I saw that.
He's like, we have a data, but we have a big list.
It was you're a domestic terrorist now, so have fun with that, I think is what he said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this is a sustainable way to run a society. Just big picture. I don't think so. I don't think we can have just, hogs out there all, kitted up, carrying big guns, putting phones in our faces saying, you're a domestic terrorist. Have fun with that. We can't just let these people walk all over us like this forever.
No. Well, to the people of Minneapolis' credit, I don't think that's exactly what's happening.
No, absolutely not. They're not just letting it happen to them without any pushback. So very glad to see that. I'm sorry that it's had to come to this, but they're definitely setting a good example for the rest of us when fascism comes home.
Yeah.
What else can we say? Do you want to talk about, since we're on the subject, the previous, big flashy attempt to crack down on a city, I believe was Chicago. I think that was the most recent, aside from Minneapolis, was Chicago. They sent a bunch of their thugs there to bully and harass and kill people. Yeah, they did kill a few people in Chicago as well. Maybe not a few, but I know at least one. I can think of one name. But anyway, they charged a bunch of people with crimes, and one of those charges went to trial this week, and a federal jury acquitted somebody. Here, I'll read this article from the Telegraph Herald. Actually, this is written by Sophia Tureen of the Associated Press. Jury acquits Chicago man of putting bounty on Border Patrol leader. So that's that guy, Greg Bovino, Greg Bambino.
First Bongino, Bovino.
Oh, yeah, it's too similar.
Yeah.
Dan Bongino, Greg Bobino. There's too many. That's a silly name structure to have for us to take you seriously as an authority over us. A man accused of offering a $10,000 bounty over Snapchat for the life of a top Border Patrol leader was found not guilty on Thursday in the first criminal trial stemming from the Chicago area immigration crackdown that started last year. Jurors deliberated less than 4 hours before returning the favorable verdict for 37-year-old Juan Espinoza Martinez. He faced one count of murder for hire and up to 10 years in prison if convicted. I thought that was kind of interesting that if you are convicted of murder for hire, the maximum prison sentence is only 10 years. I would have expected them to be harsher on that. But maybe like...
I think that's assuming the murder hasn't been committed, because I think you also just get charged with murder if someone
there would be
dies.
additional charges. Right, there would be additional charges. Okay. That makes sense. Testimony lasted mere hours in the federal trial that was the latest test of the Trump administration's credibility on federal surges that have played out from Minnesota to Maine. The Trump administration's credibility is definitely undermined by a jury of this man's peers finding him not guilty of offering $10,000 to kill Greg Bovino. Espinoza Martinez, who wore a suit and tie.
Wow, important detail.
Definitely necessary to put that in the article, that a man on trial for murder for hire dressed up for his court appearance. No shit. Anyway, he listened intently with his arms crossed near his stomach. He hugged his attorneys and shook their hands after court adjourned. At the heart of the government's case were Snapchat messages sent from Espinoza Martinez to his younger brother and a friend who turned out to be a government informant. So that's fucked up. I do have so what's the reporter's name? Let me just make sure I get that right. From the Chicago Sun, John Seidel, he was at the trial and he got a photo of the Snapchat messages, which I'm going to pull up for you now, Evan, because these messages were shown in court. So that's it right there. It says 2K on info cuando lo agarren. Apologies for my Spanish pronunciation. 10K if you take him down. LK, and then the devil horns hand signal, like rock on emoji. LK, rock on emoji on him. LK is supposed to be short for Latin Kings. So these are messages that this man sent to his brother and to a friend from work who turned out to be a rat. You gotta be, I don't know who you can trust these days. I guess this guy was a government informant. And I guess he also sent a picture of Greg Bovino along with these messages. A Border Patrol official who has led aggressive crackdowns nationwide, including in the Chicago area. They have some quotes here from the trial. Those words do not indicate that this was a joke, First Assistant U.S. Attorney Jason Yonan told jurors during Thursday's closing arguments. Those words have meaning. They are not innocent and harmless words. Just to review, 10K if you take him down. Do you consider that to be innocent words, harmless? If you just send it to your brother, I mean...
Yeah, well, I think there's like no other evidence that there is anything that happened.
No,
and
there
then
was
like
no
also
attempt.
like there's more context to the Snapchat messages that I don't think was just in that screenshot.
Yeah. Defense attorneys said the government didn't show any evidence against Espinoza Martinez, who sent the messages as neighborhood gossip after coming home from work and unwinding with beers. So the government is asserting that, you know, blowing off some steam after work, knocking a few back, and texting your brother, essentially, it would be funny if this guy got killed. Like, that's kind of the context of the...
Like, after the fucking government comes to, like, kidnap people in your city, like...
Right. And I mean, just to, you know, zoom in on the guy's name again, Juan Espinoza Martinez. You know, he's clearly a target of this invasion of the federal government to his city.
Yeah, and the thing is, he apparently has an immigration detainer against him. And so
I saw that, yes.
Is not necessarily going to be free after this, which is another awful
unfortunately
fact.
Yeah. He didn't follow up on the exchanges and had only a few dollars in his bank account. So basically, like, if his brother had gone out and murdered Greg Bovino and come calling for that $10K, he was out of luck. So that's a crime in and of itself, is offering money that you don't have. So they should have brought charges for that. And then this is a quote from the defense attorney, Dina Singer. Sending a message about gossip that you heard in the neighborhood is not murder for hire. It's not a federal crime. So we're only getting, very basic overview of the arguments, but the defense won because the jurors came back with a not guilty verdict. And unfortunately, the Chicago Sun article, which was like doing live updates during the trial, was kind of revised to be like a summary thing. So a lot of the details disappeared. But John Seidel on Blue Sky was sort of live tweeting this while he was there. And the most important detail to me was... Sorry, it's going to take a second for me to like find it. Okay. Singer, that's the defense attorney, points to messages between Espinoza Martinez and his brother, including Espinoza Martinez's alleged comment that they're on fire with the top pig. I think talking about the Latin Kings or something. She points out that the next message he sent was LOL. So this, I think, honestly, played a big role in the jury's decision, because the prosecutor was trying to say, like, he sent these messages. This was a serious offer of thousands of dollars to murder a government official. This was not a joke. And then the defense is like, but he said LOL. So it was a joke. And he was found not guilty. So I think this is a lesson to us all. If you're going to send some messages like this to somebody that you trust, somebody you think is not a government informant, as long as you couch your spicier stuff with LOLs.
Yeah, pepper in some LOLs, some Raffles, some Lamaus.
yeah. And cry laughing emojis, throw a few of those in there. You gotta make it clear that you're laughing when you say this out loud. Then your defense has something to hold on to, like, he was laughing, it was a joke. But also, don't trust your friends from work with something like this, because they could be a government informant. You don't know.
Yeah.
Could be a good time for us to remind everybody of the concept of jury nullification.
That is a good concept to know.
I don't know that necessarily is what happened here, because I do think the defense had enough of an argument that it's clear that this guy wasn't actually doing murder for hire.
A crime did not actually occur.
Yeah, right. But jury nullification is, even if you're on a jury and you think that there is sufficient evidence that the defendant has committed a crime, but you have a conscience and you do not believe that it's fair for this person to be punished for having done whatever they did, you can still vote not guilty. Or I guess, is it a vote? It's not really a vote when you're on a jury, but you can still, come back with a verdict of not guilty, even if you think that they technically are. And that's the power of being a juror, is that you can change the precedent for some of these things.
Mm-hmm. You can also be very stubborn, and you can not change your mind on that. And then, then jury can't reach a decision. Also, you get to hang out in deliberation for a while,
Yeah.
It's probably really fun.
You're meeting new people. You're learning about different perspectives, probably.
You don't have to go to work.
These are your peers, right? You want to meet more of your peers, and, maybe love will blossom you can, in there.
You become like a really good debater. You come out and then you have like a new interest in debate and sharing your opinions, and then you become like a commentator.
Yeah, you can become a famous podcaster or something.
Become a podcaster.
Hone your rhetorical skills by refusing to convict someone of a crime that you think that they did commit. Anyway, but don't talk about jury nullification during jury selection, because the prosecutor is not going to want you in the room.
Do not do that.
Anyway, that I felt was some qualified good news from a neighboring state. But like you said, the guy does have some sort of immigration charge that's probably going to unfortunately come back on him. But we're glad that he was not convicted of murder for hire. He's not going to go to prison for 10 years for sending some texts to his friend and his brother.
Mm-hmm. I saw an article about apparently ICE kidnapped a guy who was a prime suspect in some kind of jewelry heist or something. And then he was like, yeah, deport me. And so he basically got out of being charged with the other crime.
That's pretty cool. I mean, he should. It's unfortunate that he's subject to this sort of fascist crackdown, but he had a choice presented to him, and it sounds like he chose one that's probably better for him in the long run. Take advantage of what you can in this fucked up situation. We should probably talk a little bit about our state legislature. The legislative session has begun, so we do have the typical crazy stuff happening, crazy proposals from our... we elect some real winners to our state legislature, the state Senate and the state House. Let's talk about this. This is from Robin Opsahl in the Iowa Capitol Dispatch. Bill advances making 2 off-label COVID remedies available without prescription. So that this is not law yet, but it's passed out of a subcommittee to make off-label COVID remedies available over the counter. What's an off-label COVID remedy?
Things that have not been proven to work. Off-label means the doctor does not think it actually works, but some people do.
Sure. So this would be like the horse medicine that people were praising a few years ago. Crazy people. Mm-hmm. These are alternatives to getting yourself vaccinated for the virus that continues to plague us. What if you take horse medicine? What if you inject bleach?
If you shit in a grocery store.
Oh, those were the days. Lawmakers advanced a bill Thursday for dispensing hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin without a prescription after medical professionals and advocates spoke on the proposal at a House subcommittee meeting on Thursday. Hydroxychloroquine, that one's not horse medicine, but I forget what the deal is with that one.
That one was promoted very early on in the COVID pandemic. It's
an malaria. That's the malaria one.
It's a malaria drug. My mom also takes it because she has rheumatoid arthritis, and that was a big thing because people were trying to get hydroxychloroquine prescriptions, and it was apparently constraining the supply of it for people who actually need it.
Right. And that kind of messes with your immune system, right?
Yeah. I mean, hypothetically, I guess it kind of made sense because if it suppresses your immune system, part of the main things that killed people in COVID was their immune system overreacting, basically, or it's cytokine storm or whatever, right? Where your immune system is actually kind of preventing you from breathing,
right.
But then there's a bunch of studies that it doesn't really do anything. So.
Yeah. Okay. So this is House File 2056. This would require the state medical director to establish a standing order for the dispensing of hydroxychloroquine, a prescription drug typically used in treating malaria and managing autoimmune diseases, and ivermectin, typically used to treat parasitic infections. Both drugs, approved for certain human uses in specific settings, became the focal point of debates following the coronavirus pandemic. As some sources claimed, those drugs could be used to prevent or treat symptoms of COVID-19. And then the article, of course, says that further studies have not indicated that this is a good thing to do to treat your COVID infections. The proposal would require a pharmacist to dispense these 2 drugs to patients 18 or older at their request and could not require the patient to have a prescription from a medical practitioner or to schedule an appointment prior to dispensing the drug. Nor could a pharmacist maintain a record of their encounter with a patient requesting hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin. This is
what?
This is a fucking crazy proposal for a law. It's the state mandates that pharmacists must have these drugs and just hand them over
Just
to
hand
anyone
it
who
over.
requests them. You do not keep any record of this.
No controls whatsoever.
No receipts. Like we cannot track these people. They're exploring medical science. They are on the frontier of they're using their body as an experiment.
I think Scott Adams was taking ivermectin for his prostate cancer, and it was like it didn't do anything. Obviously,
Why would it?
yeah.
Cancer is not a parasite.
That's true. COVID is not a parasite either, but that didn't stop people.
Yeah, you're right. What the fuck?
It's just
What
like
is this?
I don't know. It's a miracle. It's going to work if you believe in it,
Yep, it's a miracle drug.
which is true.
If it helps
if
a
you
horse,
believe in it, it works. It's a placebo effect.
Yeah. If you, the hard thing about the placebo effect is that you cannot intentionally, make yourself have that reaction. If you know that you're doing a placebo to yourself, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't work. Yeah.
Right. So I guess
Well,
what these
then
people
also
are
the
doing
thing-
is like making themselves stupid enough that they can't. They don't know what the placebo effect is, so it works every time.
But the thing is, placebo doesn't actually do anything. But like ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, like can have like severe adverse health consequences.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
We have Wes Pilkington. He's got some quotes here. That of course he came over here from
Carl's
the
brother.
UK.
Yeah. Right.
He's a bald idiot, but he's the owner of Evans Crossing Pharmacy. That's you.
Okay. That's
Evans
me.
Crossing Pharmacy, and president of the Iowa Pharmacy Association. He had some criticisms of this bill, if you can imagine it. The phrase "shall dispense" removes professional judgment at the very point where pharmacists are legally and ethically obligated to evaluate patient safety. Pharmacists are not vending machines. That's what this guy says, anyway. I would like to see that change. I think pharmacists should simply fulfill requests. They may as well be machines. If I want the drug, I should be just give it to me. I know what I'm doing.
That's kind of how it's moving, right? With all these like online drugstores, you get
I guess
your
that's
boner
true.
pills, you get your GLP-1s, you get
I guess that's
your
true.
hair loss shit, like
Yeah,
basically anything.
For certain things, yeah, you can kind of bypass any sort of ethical obligations for the sake of profit, I guess, right? They got to be making money off these drugs.
Yeah. You can just be a doctor who just sits on your couch all day and you're just like,
Just tapping
Yeah.
the button on your phone.
yeah, approved.
Go for it. Cha-ching. We are licensed healthcare professionals whose role is to ensure medications are safe and appropriate before they reach the patient. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds to me like burdensome regulations and red tape. I think that my body is my own. I should be allowed to put whatever drugs I want in it, and I shouldn't have to hear the nagging of so-called medical professionals.
Yeah. I mean, legalize
Nanny
it.
state bullshit. These two drugs in particular carry many potential risks for consumers, Pilkington said. Patients taking ivermectin are at risk of severe skin reactions, drops in blood pressure, central nervous system depression and neurotoxicity, and risks are increased when people take increased dosages of the drug. Are you worried about any of those potential effects?
Doesn't sound pleasant.
Well, it's kind of like, what if I want to depress my central nervous system? What if I want to not feel things?
Some people do. I mean, that's pretty common.
Yeah. I want to numb myself.
But usually you want like some kind of like euphoria to go along with that. It's not just like, I'm like breathing slower and like oxygen isn't getting into my blood.
Feels good. Hydroxychloroquine presents even more significant concerns, Pilkington said, as the drug presents risks of overdose and can cause fatal cardiac arrhythmias, severe hypoglycemia, blood disorders, irreversible retinal damage, lung disease, acute liver failure, and kidney injury, especially among elderly patients. Okay, well, those don't sound as fun as the ivermectin risks. Fatal cardiac, you don't want to see those two words next to each other.
Yeah, right.
Retinal damage, I believe the retina is in my eye. I don't want to damage my eye.
Definitely not.
Lungs, liver, kidneys, those are all things that I think need to remain somewhat functional. Like I gotta try to keep those working as best I can. Yeah, here's some. Well, hold on. I want to see somebody defend this. Yeah, okay.
Eddie Andrews has got a good quote.
Yeah, we got Eddie Andrews, who is a representative from Johnston.
Running for governor.
Yes, he's one of those guys running for governor in the Republican primary. What would you say? He's maybe third or fourth in the pack?
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe
who really knows?
Maybe he's running second. I don't know. It's pretty much Feenstra and then a pack of wolves behind him. Eddie Andrews, who's running for governor, said other medicines currently available for purchase without a prescription also have side effects. I mean, just the ones that we all know about. Tylenol, ibuprofen. They have a long laundry list of side effects, from liver problems to... problems is in parentheses. So I think if we pulled up the audio for this, he probably just said from liver to asthma to blood pressure to cardiovascular risk to stomach and GI issues. What separates this one, and why are those okay?
I mean, he does. I'm surprised he didn't bring up autism about the Tylenol.
Yeah.
But I will say, he's kind of right about Tylenol. That one's kind of a bad one. Like that's like the number one or two. I think it's number 2 cause of liver disease after alcohol.
Right, because it seems like nothing, right? Like you can just pop it all day. It's like I have a little bit of a headache. Let me take a couple of these. I mean, what the argument he's actually making is we actually should probably regulate these a little more.
Yeah, maybe we should try to inform people about instead of just being pharmacy can just give you drugs without having any controls over it. Maybe they should be doing some education and maybe trying to help you use the drug safely. Yeah,
we could maybe put some money into campaigns to teach people about this. Maybe the pharmacy should not. I don't know about you, but whenever I've been to the pharmacy, it's very stressful. They're just trying to fill these prescriptions. Everybody's getting mad because the prescription didn't come from the doctor's office like they said it was. So there's just people waiting around, getting impatient. I do feel like there's probably a more efficient way to run this system. And basically you just want to get your shit and get out of there. You're not even listening when they're telling you okay, this is how you take this. Don't do this. Right. You're just this is the worst day of my life. Get me the fuck out of here. There's got to be a better way for us to do this. In fact, maybe have it not be tied up in some sort of corporate retail environment. Maybe pharmacies shouldn't be captured by Walgreens and CVS.
Yeah. Where you go to get your alcohol. Where you go to get liquored up.
Right. Yeah. When you take these pills, don't drink that over there. You can see the bottles from the pharmacist counter. I see you've got a big handle there that you just bought. Give it a couple days, please, between these two substances. Lindsay Maher, Bill Maher's niece, Lindsay Maher, with the group Informed Choice Iowa, said several states have passed laws allowing over-the-counter dispensing of ivermectin and claimed research continues worldwide to uncover the various diseases that ivermectin is capable of treating. This is so crazy.
She's not even listing specific diseases. She's basically, it'll cure basically anything.
Yeah, the research that's continuing is people posting in Facebook groups, I took a whole bunch of ivermectin and it cured my diarrhea. I mean, we know that it has the opposite effect of that. That was a bad example, but I took a bunch of ivermectin. I no longer have, it cleared up my glaucoma or something. Totally unverified. This is not research. This is
They also failed to disclose that Informed Choice Iowa is just an anti-vax front group.
Yeah.
They do not want. It is so fucking crazy to like not want vaccines, but then you're like, yeah, just fill me up with the fucking horse dewormer. Like, come on.
I imagine like when you take ivermectin, it's sort of like, I don't know if you've seen it, like a place like Taco Bell or something, they have the like squirt bottle full of sour cream or whatever.
I mean,
it's
literally
basically like that, right?
The tubes that, you buy it and it like for the horses, it's like apple flavored. It's like a big fucking tube of toothpaste.
Yeah.
It's like apple flavored.
Like a huge like plastic syringe, right? Like
Yeah.
just squirt that right into your mouth, maybe even straight into your butthole. I don't know how they take this stuff. What are the other states?
However you can. That's how you take it.
What are the other states that have made this available over the counter? Arkansas. Wait. Okay. Tennessee, Arkansas, Idaho, and Louisiana. Okay. Tennessee, Arkansas, Idaho, Louisiana. Definitely states known for their advanced medical outcomes. Yes, and freedom, of course. So Lindsay Marr with Informed Choice Iowa also said, as ivermectin has established efficacy for proven uses, largely regarding parasitic infections, that requiring doctor's visits and prescriptions to access the drug adds unnecessary burdens and delays treatments, and could increase costs by not allowing these things to be over the counter. It has serious side effects. That is true. A lot of things do. They are abundantly rare, though, in standard human doses.
Standard human doses.
This should alleviate all concerns. There is language in the bill requiring the manufacturer's label be included on the product. So we're not just giving out, blank syringes full of mayonnaise and saying like, here you go.
Yeah, the average person is definitely, they're reading those things, they're like understanding those things. They definitely,
Right. Yeah, good stuff. Brett Barker, who is a Republican representative and is a pharmacist, is also mentioned here. He had strong concerns about the bill as written. So you would think that he would maybe oppose the bill because it's like stupid and reckless, right? Like there's no reason to pass
like
this
as a
law.
pharmacist, you have like this kind of like oath. There's like this whole like Hippocratic oath thing where you're like, like try not to harm people. Like,
right. Well, and yeah, I mean, the way that it's like, the law requires like you have to give this to them, and you can't you can't scold them about it. It's like totally like there are other federal laws, I think, regulating the behavior of a pharmacist, right? And this is sort of like this violates that. This is in conflict with that. Anyway, Brett Barker, he said he had strong concerns. While Barker did not sign off on the bill at the subcommittee meeting, he signed off on the measure later Thursday with a recommendation for amendment. Fucking coward. Like, really? Hopefully it's like they know that this is maybe doomed. Like, so he's just like, I don't want this on my record that I oppose this because some of my base are like psychotic and I don't want to cross them. Maybe it's like that, but...
Yeah. Well, he's like, well, we do need an amendment, probably. It's a bad bill, but like maybe we can make it like just like a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that we should amend this to add legal immunity for the pharmacists when people inevitably kill themselves taking these drugs that are now a free for all. Maybe that's the amendment he's looking for to protect his colleagues. Mm-hmm. I do want to mention this other bill. We don't really need to get too in the weeds about it, but this is also from Iowa Capitol Dispatch by Brooklyn Drazy. Iowa House Subcommittee tables due process legislation for state universities. The reason I don't want to get too deep into this is because I literally don't understand what this bill is. After reading this article, it's like, what do they want? This is House Study Bill 539. I'll read the summary here. An act providing for a due process policy for faculty, staff, and students at Regents institutions and for related disciplinary matters and including effective date provisions. So this is a bill to ensure that students, faculty, and staff at universities have due process, which I think they already do, right? Like, But what drew my attention here is Representative Dave Jacoby of Coralville. This is my representative in the state house. Called proposed legislation to have state universities adopt new due process policies, quote, the worst written bill he's ever seen in his 22 years as a lawmaker on Thursday during the subcommittee meeting. Protections in due process and adjudication procedures universities would be required to establish under the bill include the presumption of innocence and rights to counsel, live hearings with questioning of witnesses and accusers, knowledge of allegations and charges, and more. So this is from the Committee on Higher Education, which is Representative Collins, who's one of those really young guys who has a real boner for going after colleges and reforming higher education in Iowa. The Center for Intellectual Freedom, all that shit, like. He just wants to undermine the concept of education, basically. So I have to imagine the motive here is like people accused of like.
Yeah, I feel like it's just they're trying to protect like rapists.
I don't know. People are not like being charged with crimes for like expressing conservative viewpoints. At school, which is kind of what it feels like.
That's
they're going for
yeah.
here.
I was thinking that too. But the thing is, yeah, there's like things that are like can probably get you kicked out of school that aren't illegal, and maybe like the standard shouldn't be exactly the same. But yeah, it's a weird bill.
Yeah, you're not going to jail.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the consequences aren't as severe, so maybe it doesn't need to be as involved of a process.
Yeah, I guess.
There are mechanisms already there for like making sure it's like fair.
Sure. And look, I'm certainly not going to say that like college administration and like disciplinary measures at universities are like really effective and like everybody's treated fairly in these sort of situations. But
right,
like my representative said, worst written bill he's ever seen. It's really unclear what they're even trying to do. Subcommittee made up of Representative Steve Holt, Dave Jacoby, and Representative Jeff Shipley. So this is a real murderer's row here. But they have decided to table the legislation for now, probably because it's very confusing. I liked this from Representative Dave Jacoby. I think it'd be simpler just to post the 5th and 14th amendments on the websites of each school.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Neither Shipley nor Holt gave their thoughts on the legislation during the meeting. They're really doing their jobs well. And I do want to give props to Dave Jacoby for, being blunt in his assessment of that bill. I haven't always been excited for him to be my representative in the state legislature, but it seems like he handled that one really well. What should we close out with? I think we're about ready to wrap up here. You know about Adam Steen? I feel like we've been...
Yeah, let's do that one.
Yeah, we've been kind of letting him off for a while, not really talking about him. Adam Steen is one of those guys in the pack of wolves that I referred to earlier.
Yes, he is one of the wolves.
The guys
Adam
who are not
Mangosteen.
Adam Mangosteen, that's right. He, if you don't know, his claim to fame is he's basically the one who has been violating the First Amendment rights of Iowa Satanists in the state capital. And he's very proud that he has been, putting up barriers to the rise of Satan in the state of Iowa. And he posted this on Twitter. Actually, our friend Dan sent this one to me because he thought it would be funny on the podcast. So shout out to Dan. This is Adam Steen's video that he tweeted, and this was accompanied by the text, "Iowans must not allow evil to take hold in our state."
There is hope right now. There's hope in this state. There's hope in this country. There's hope in this world. And if we sit back and let evil infiltrate this state, like it's infiltrated Minnesota, like it's infiltrated Dearborn, Michigan, Illinois, New York City.
Dearborn, Michigan. That's a pretty specific place.
That was very specific. He said like Minnesota.
Yeah.
He said New York and then Dearborn, Michigan. Actually, I think he said New York City, didn't he? Let's just.
He said
sure we get
both.
this
I think
right.
he said New York and then corrected to New York City.
Yeah.
And let evil infiltrate this state like it's infiltrated Minnesota. Like it's infiltrated Dearborn, Michigan. Illinois, New York City.
Okay.
Oregon, California. Look at what
Oregon, California, New York City. Yeah, Dearborn, Michigan really is kind of an outlier there. Why would you zoom in so far to specify a city like Dearborn, Michigan, when you are talking about evil that has infiltrated America? Do you think he might be referring to something specific?
He might be a Christian nationalist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Minnesota, of
Fucking
course,
asshole.
has a decent population of one of those Abrahamic religions that's not Christianity.
Yeah.
Just followers of another one of those.
Or Judaism. We got to be clear on that.
Right, it's neither of them. It's neither of the Judeo-Christian faiths.
Yeah. It's not Baha'i.
I'm pretty sure he's just talking about Islam and Muslims. He's demonizing people, calling them evil.
Yeah, who have lived in Dearborn for decades. Like, it's not a new phenomenon.
Well, they infiltrated long ago. That's how insidious they are, is that they infiltrated well before I knew what they were. Yeah, he's barely euphemizing it here, right? Like, calling out Dearborn is like, oh, crystal clear what he's talking about now. And I'm sure when he brings up New York City, he's talking about the election of Zoran
Mamdani, 100%.
Yeah.
evil is doing right now. This right now is a battle of good versus evil. And I say that everywhere I go because that is the absolute truth. And I'm unwilling not to speak truth into the situation. Rob Sand, who will be the...
Whoa. Where'd that come from? Rob's a good Christian man. I don't know why you think that Rob would be responsible for any sort of infiltration of evil, unless you're talking about his father-in-law's money. But he's clearly not a Muslim, so what's the problem you have with him, Adam?
The Democrat nominee has stood up and he stood out and he's created 2 attack ads against me already.
What?
For saying you can't say this is good versus evil.
I don't think that's
he's
true.
I don't think he's paying that much attention to you, Adam. I mean,
Evil. You can't say it's good versus evil. It's wrong. No, this is exactly what this is. But there's hope. There's hope for a future for this state. But we have to stand up as an informed electorate, rise up and elect people that are willing to fight the battles, who've fought the battles, who've been involved, who won't back down, who've won some, who've lost some, who've developed a spine of steel. You are looking at somebody who is fearless, who's unafraid.
okay, and then it cuts off pretty abruptly there. You're looking at someone who is fearless, and he brags about his steel spine. He's weathered. He's seasoned. He's a warrior for Christ. Adam Steen. Yeah, kind of it's very stupid. Like, he comes across as a dork in that video, right?
Yeah.
The rhetoric is kind of frightening, but he is in many ways pathetic.
Yeah. I also the rhetoric I don't think is going to be very effective, especially, like, I don't know if calling Rob Sand evil is going to stick. Like,
I've tried.
I mean, we might have our opinions about that, but I don't think the average person, I mean, his whole campaign is kind of like, it's like, I'm not, he's like,
shucks.
Yeah, he's portraying himself as, the most middle of the road, not evil guy.
Yeah.
Possibly ever.
Yeah. And this is just sort of like fire and brimstone. Like, this is a battle of good and evil. The governor's race. You should be deathly afraid if I don't win.
I mean, it is kind of all of the messaging about Rob Sand from the Republicans is like, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He might try to be like, he might be, like 3/4 of the way to being a Republican, but it's a lie. He's actually an evil, radical liberal.
Yeah. He kind of thinks that sometimes some people should be allowed to get abortions sometimes. So
yeah,
he's not
in
like
general.
you and me.
He did post an Instagram reel recently that was like, in general, I support reproductive freedom.
Yeah,
like, okay.
In general.
Okay, man.
I have to qualify it. I have to compromise. Sometimes freedom is bad, right?
Yeah. At least I'm saying something.
Yeah. Still hasn't said anything about ICE. As far as I know,
No.
I could have missed something, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe today's awful snuff film will get a rise out of him. He'll be compelled to actually acknowledge what's going on. Don't count on it. Ready to wrap up?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Starbucks, don't buy it. There's
Nope.
still a wave of strikes going on at Starbucks. If your local Starbucks has or if your local unionized Starbucks baristas have like an Instagram or something, you can probably follow their ongoing activities. I believe the Iowa City baristas were on strike yesterday, which is a bad day to be outside. So hopefully, I'm sorry, but I was staying inside as much as possible yesterday. But hopefully the weather chills out. Sorry,
warms up.
Yeah. I meant chill out in the sense of calm down, but it's a bad choice of words when I'm talking literally about temperatures. Anyway, support your local baristas by not buying products from their corporate overlords.
I saw someone post a picture of a piece of bread they got from Starbucks that was completely covered in mold.
Oh.
And they're I waited in line 20 minutes for this. Bad idea. Bad choice.
Posting your L's.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, and I do want to plug Chris Jones running for Iowa Secretary of Agriculture. I just caught the conclusion of a tour he was doing, or maybe no, because I think he's in Grinnell today. So I don't quite know what's going on, but he's probably coming somewhere near you, and he needs signatures to make sure he's on the ballot for the primary. So if he's coming to you, try to get over there and sign up. I saw him speak at the James Theater in Iowa City last night, which of course famously also hosted Nikki Haley a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that this event was much better than that. But I got a yard sign from him. I'm very excited about that, to have a yard sign for a Secretary of Agriculture race. I feel like this is something people generally don't pay attention to. So there's a real opportunity here. And he hands out these big pamphlets at his campaign events that's pretty detailed about what he wants to do, what he wants to change. I'll give you an example here. He wants a strategic retreat from growing corn for fuel ethanol. 11,000 square miles of our land, 1/5 of the state, is used to grow corn for ethanol with no real environmental benefit for Iowans. I believe the best ground on earth should be used for growing things I believe the best ground on earth should be used for growing things of greater societal importance.
Yeah. Food.
Yeah, not just burning corn in our gas tanks, which does not help us. If you have any familiarity with Chris, he has a lot to say about the bridge fuel of ethanol and the renewable fuel standard and Monty Shaw. He said it all last night. And hopefully he'll be coming on our show soon to talk about it again. Like I said earlier in the episode, I got his phone number. I'm going to give him a call soon, see how soon we can get him on here to really make a case for himself. ChrisJonesForIowa.com. Also wanted people to know, since we're talking about the legislature, there is a bill in the House and Senate, House File 2121, Senate File 2003, which has the intent of, hold on. I think I've got the description of the Senate file here. An act prohibiting school districts, charter schools, and innovation zone schools from providing any program, curriculum, test, survey, questionnaire, promotion, or instruction relating to gender theory or sexual orientation instruction in grades 7 through 12. So even high schoolers, teachers should not be allowed to say anything about gay and trans stuff around
gender
these students,
theory.
who, of course, none of these high school students are discovering these things about themselves and could maybe benefit from having a conversation, having some level of openness and acceptance in their educational environment. There's no way that could possibly benefit them. So it's good that we're considering totally shutting down conversation in school about this stuff. The reason I bring it up is that they will be having a House subcommittee meeting on the 27th, this coming Tuesday. And One Iowa is organizing, or, trying to get people to come out to speak at that subcommittee meeting to oppose this. So if you're in the area, you can get out of work or whatever, this coming Tuesday. They are asking people to meet at the House Lounge at 8:30 a.m. on the 27th to oppose this Don't Say Gay bill. I'll say gay all I want.
True that.
I love talking about gay.
Yeah.
Do you like talking about gay people? You can call us and you can just say gay. Just call 319-849-8733. Leave a message. Tell us what you think about gay.
I'm a big fan of Little B's I'm Gay, in parentheses, I'm Happy. That's a good one. One of his best releases, I would say.
Yeah. We'd love to hear from you. Maybe you can give us your own rendition of your favorite Lil B song as well. 319-849-8733. And if you go to our Patreon, patreon.com/rockhardcaucus, you can give us $1 or more if you're feeling generous. And you can listen to every episode of Rock Hard Call Us, which features a lot of those voicemails that we receive at that phone number. The 25th episode of Rock Hard Call Us came out earlier this month. I think it was pretty fun. We watched a video of Scott Adams as he was very close to death, which it's its own kind of fun. And Evan and I are planning a new series to hit the Patreon soon. Should I tell them the name I came up with for the series?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we're going to watch a show called Invasion Iowa, which is starring William Shatner, who came to Iowa to trick a bunch of rubes. And the idea for the title for the series came to me while I was driving to work, Talking Shat. I Googled the phrase. It's been used a little bit.
Yeah.
But And that leaves a possibility for once we finish Invasion Iowa, we could talk about other William Shatner stuff.
We just talk about William Shatner. He's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of shit.
Yeah. Tech War.
You ever heard of a
Tech
dickhead?
War? Not a very nice guy. I don't think he knows how to use computers. I remember something about that.
Yeah. Doesn't he also have like beef with Leonard Nimoy?
I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Well, he won.
Yeah,
he's still alive.
That's true.
He's kind of an astonishingly old man too. He's in his 90s.
I actually forgot Leonard Nimoy died.
Yeah. Rest in peace to a Hobbit king. Well, he's not a Hobbit, but he sang that song about Bilbo. So that's that song, right? The Bilbo Baggins song.
I don't recall. I did just download the extended editions of all of the Lord of the Rings movies, which I might watch sometime. It was for a friend who asked for him, but
that's a real time commitment. Those are really long.
They're like 4 fucking hours.
Even the theatrical cuts were quite long.
They were, yeah.
Well, we're not going to close out with the Bilbo Baggins song by Leonard Nimoy. We're going to close out with Particles by the local post-rock band Matsu. I think it's supposed to be pronounced Matsu, M-A-Z-U. That's what I heard people saying anyway. They played at Trumpet Blossom last Friday, and I was running sound, and I really liked what they were playing. And their bassist, Corey, remembered me from that time we went to the Street Fight show in Des Moines.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, shit, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
So shout out to Corey if he happens to be listening. But this is his band Matsu with their song Particles. You can find this at mazuband.bandcamp.com. And if you make music and you would like it to be featured on the show, please reach out to us. We'd love to play it. There is a submission form at rockhardcock.us if you want to go that route. Otherwise, just email or DM us or whatever. All right, that's all for today. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.